I call to order this joint meeting of the City of Sioux Falls and the Minnehaha County Board of Adjustments. And I'm going to begin with a few introductory comments. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. Please note that tonight's joint meeting and Board of Adjustments meeting will be rebroadcast via CityLink and posted on www.minnehahacounty.org for viewing by the general public. Any action taken on the variance tonight may be appealed to the Circuit Court in a manner and form as provided by the state statutes of the state of South Dakota. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the September 28th, 2015 Joint Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting?
There is.
Second. Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes from the September 28th, 2015 Joint Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And on the city side, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries on the city side.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 2, which is the variance number 1802 to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 9 feet. This property owner or petitioner is Garrett Brune, same property owner, and he's approximately 2 miles west of Sioux Falls. Scott?
Yes, thank you, Scott Anderson, Planning Director. This property is located at 46728 265th Street, which is also West Highway or South Dakota Highway 42 or West 12th Street for all of those that may not be familiar with this. The applicant is requesting to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet, which is the requirement of the zoning ordinance, to 9 feet. This is being requested in order to construct a 26 by 26 foot detached garage. The proposed garage would be located on the north side of the existing residence, and the driveway to the garage would come off of Cooley Drive. I inspected the property on April 5th, and generally it's flat. There's an approximate 2 feet elevation difference from east to west. The existing septic tank and drain field are located in front of the house, and there's a circular drive. The existing residence does have an attached double stall garage, and I'll show you some pictures in a minute. The request, it also should be noted that this is an older subdivision, and it dates back, 30, 40 years. So a lot of these houses may have been constructed not meeting the setback requirement. And I did note that there were specifically 2 properties that had garages or structures that were located within that 30-foot setback. And those are noted in your staff report. This area has recently been added to the Sioux Falls Joint Zoning Jurisdiction. So as it has been recently added, I forwarded the request and all the supporting documentation to the City Planning Office for their review and comments. And on April 6th, Jeff Schmidt, the city planner, provided comments indicating that it was the city staff's opinion that there was no hardship that existed, and they did not support the request. The city staff also noted that the location of the proposed garage could be moved to the east and meet all of the setback requirements. So the joint zoning ordinance is pretty clear, and it states that the Board of Adjustment may not vary setback requirements unless it makes findings, you all make findings, based upon evidence that all of the following conditions are present. And I'm going to go over those and provide you staff's opinion on whether those conditions are being met or not. So first of all, are there specific conditions or circumstances such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or siting that exists on the property? So this is a little bit unique. It's not exactly a square lot, and as you can see, there's several horseshoe lots. So I did indicate that it is relatively flat. It's a half-acre lot, and there's about a 2-foot grade difference from east to west. So in that aspect, the owner has not indicated, or the staff doesn't believe that there are any specific circumstances or conditions that would constitute a hardship, such as narrowness, topography, or the siting of the property. Number two, does the variance grant a use which is otherwise excluded from the particular district? Does it diminish or impair the property values within the area? This specific request would not allow a use which is otherwise excluded. So that is to say that a detached accessory structure would be allowed in this case as a use if they were to be able to meet the setbacks. And it would be unlikely that a detached garage would impair or diminish property values in the area. Are there specific circumstances or conditions upon which the strict application of the zoning ordinance would be an unwarranted hardship? There is no hardship. The applicant has full use of the property. He has an existing single-family residence with an attached double-stall garage. Furthermore, an alternative location could be found on the lot, which would meet all the setback requirements. While the lots in this subdivision are relatively small, the applicant could construct a detached garage and meet all the setback requirements. Number four, is granting the variance contrary to the public interest, and is it in harmony with the general purpose and the intent of the zoning ordinance? The proposed variance is not in the public's interest. The proposal would allow a reduction in a setback when a suitable alternative exists. The applicant can alter their plans on the location and meet the setback requirements. Number five, lastly, that because of circumstances or conditions, there is no possibility that the property can be developed in strict conformity with the provisions of the zoning ordinance, and that authorizing a variance, therefore, is necessary to enable reasonable use of the property. As I indicated, the owner, I feel, has full reasonable use of the property. The applicant can construct a garage that meets all the setback requirements. Strict provisions of the zoning ordinance does not pose any physical or any hardship to the applicant. The intent and purpose of the minimum setback may even benefit the property owner, as any future road construction or expansion or infrastructure improvements, such as sidewalks, would not have a negative impact on the proposed garage. So in reviewing all the aspects that are set forth, all the criteria that's set forth in the zoning ordinance, the applicant, I don't feel, can make a case for the reduced setback, and the applicant has full and reasonable use of the property. The owner can construct a garage that could meet all of the setback requirements by moving it further to the east. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the variance request 1802 to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 9 feet. And at this point, I'll show you some pictures, and then I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. So this is a general aerial view of West Acres, if you're not familiar with it. And this is the applicant's rendering of where he would like to have the proposed garage. This is where he's proposing it here. You sort of can see what I indicated was sort of a looped driveway or semicircle. So he has a driveway that comes off Cooley Drive, and then this is off South Dakota Highway 42. And then this goes directly to his garage, and then this is his house. So this is looking back at where I believe on his property where he could move it further to the east. This is looking, so if on his site plan there's a small shed, this is the back of his house. There's a fence there. It was sort of hard to see, so this is the applicant's property, and in this general area right here is where he wants to build the garage. This shows you the side of his house. This would be the west side of his garage, and I'm standing basically in the right-of-way of Cooley Drive right here, looking straight south. And that would be the pictures, but I'll go back to the, maybe this picture, or maybe we'll just go to the site plan. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Scott, what would be the normal setback then? Is it
30 feet.
30?
30 feet. The setback, because this lot has two street frontages, one on Cooley and one on Highway 42, it has two front setbacks, 30 feet this way and 30 feet this way.
It-
And right now, on the, would be the west side, how far is that setback
From his house,
from his house? It doesn't look like
it's not 30 feet. I would, we can look at it again quickly here. I would say generally maybe 20, more or less. And the applicant's here, he may have a survey of his property, he could probably answer that. Or might be able to answer that.
Any other questions for Scott? Is the petitioner here? Will you please come forward, state your name and your address?
Hi, I'm Garrett Bruin, address 46728 265th Street here in Sioux Falls.
Any questions for the petitioner?
We were wondering too, the 30-foot, it's 60 foot from Highway 42, that's why the house is set that far back. And then 30 foot is right on the line, so the shed that is already there is already encroaching on the line from what I have measured, 5 to 6 feet. So I'm asking for the additional. As he stated, yeah, there is, I guess, places to put a garage in the back, but realistically speaking, running pavement, gravel roads through the back of a yard to everyone's backyard, I guess, just seemed unfeasible at the time. Speaking reasonably, I guess that was my best option when I went through to look for a good place to put a garage. With recent job changes that I've got going on, it's gonna house a car and house a canine. Don't want that to affect any decision at all, but that was kind of my reasoning behind what I've got, or what I've proposed here, so.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Any questions on the city side?
Was you
Go
gonna
ahead,
get
Adam.
rid of that other, that tool shed or whatever out there, was that gonna go, or was that?
Yes, that is rotten right now, and that's one of the first things to be uprooted and taken down, along with the 25-year-old fence. That'd be the next thing that's moving, so.
Thank you. Any discussion? Jeff?
Scott, what's the setback from the fence line on the north side there? I mean, what do they have to maintain from that location?
For a detached structure, 3 feet.
Okay.
There's also power lines, if I might add.
Buried?
No, they're above, so they have to be 6 to 7 foot from that. I checked with Excel, so it's an additional to what his 3 foot there.
Any discussion on the city side? Anyone want to start with a motion?
Do you want to have any audience members speak to the item if they'd like?
Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this item?
Doesn't look like it.
Jeff, you look like you're going to say something.
I tell you, I understand, I feel your pain there. And I guess I might suggest having the garage face Highway 42 and have a driveway that maybe even goes through your existing garage. But, there might be coming a time when we have sidewalks and stuff in that area. And when that happens, 9 foot isn't going to allow your boat and Suburban to be parked in that location. So I'm afraid I'm going to make a motion to deny.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to recommend the denial of variance 18-02, and that's to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 9 feet. All those in favor? Oppose? Motion passes. City?
Okay, motion on the city side.
Mr. Chair, in keeping with our best practices, I'd like to make a motion to approve this item.
Is there a second?
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve variance number 18-02. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, not to give everyone a heart attack over there, but I do agree with Commissioner Barth in that standardization I feel is important as the community grows and as improvements are made. This would encroach on that, and it wouldn't allow for a viable ongoing use for that property in this fashion. So I do intend to vote no on the approval.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes. All opposed signify by saying no.
No.
Motion does not pass, so the recommendation is denial.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Is there a motion to adjourn the Joint Zoning Board of Adjustments and we will convene as the County Planning Commission?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn on the
Motion
city side.
adjourn?
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Adjourned, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, John.